She's like, and I put splooge on my face. So remember, stay in your league, but even so, no fat bitches. Trim femboy. Femboy? I can barely even say it. It's like repulsive to me. A trim femboy. I still barely can say it. Now let's talk about, when do you hit back girls that you did not hit, I think you know what I mean, at the convention. But before we get there, we're going to talk about what TsumiCon is and, well, what the average con goer there is like and going through. YouTubers, come to me. I need you to make sure that this video is well ranked in the algorithm so that the world can see your father. YouTubers, do not fail me now. So, today's gonna be an extra special video because I just came hot off the heels of TsumiCon. Now, for those of you who don't know what TsumiCon is, it's a hentai con. And for those of you who don't know what hentai is, yeah, either very young, very unexplored on the interwebs, or very unfortunate because it is a great thing for some people, a lot of people. But it does have to do with anime, and if you haven't looked it up, and now's the time to pause the video. What we're going to be talking about is my experience there from a red pill perspective, because that's what we like to do here. We like to talk about the way society works and how you fit into it and how you excel through it, right? And we're going to talk about, you know, the simpy, we're going to talk about the sad, and we're going to talk about the fun. We're going to be talking about running game at TsumiCon like no one's ever done. Let's go! By the way, can we take a moment to appreciate all the cords that are running through this amazing body? Like, what am I even doing out here? What am I doing out here? Bam! Hit him with the double buy. Woo! So, I got a little bit of the directional approach to laying out this for you, right? Because here's the thing. There's a few different types of people that you're going to meet in the world. You're going to meet people who are not doing near as well as you. You're going to meet people who are, well, they're doing about as well as you. And then you're going to meet people who are doing much better than you. And when you meet them, they just keep it moving, right? Leaving you in the dust. And then you're going to meet other people who, well, they're doing better than you, but they want to drop a little bit of sauce for you so that you can also up your game at least a little bit on your own, based off of what you learned from them. I would say I'm more that kind of a man. So I'm going to be dropping some, or stirring some sauce for you guys in this video about how to run game at conventions and other places in the world that you might find yourself at. But before we get there, we're going to talk about what TsumiCon is and, well, what the average con goer there is like and going through. Because like yourself, who I'm sure are into interesting and fun things, the average con goer is just an average guy trying to make it through life who ends up at whatever convention they're at. Now, at TsumiCon, because of its over-sexual nature, it's literally a con for those connoisseurs of hentai. I met a girl, and I asked her who she was, and she told me that she was from a hentai, one of the, I guess, small, cute girls in the hentai, and that what was on her face, it was just like face paint like you might wear for Halloween, but she's like, and I put splooge on my face. So now that we opened up with that story for you, I think you can see where we're going with what kind of cosplays and what kind of girls are attending. We got Ethot Central, basically. And that's okay if you're just looking to have fun. Let's talk about it. First off, we're going to talk about the simpy, right? There's things that I saw guys doing there that are just simpy. And these are things that you never, ever, ever want to do as a man, even if there's no girls around that you are even remotely interested in. Which isn't true, because at these cons, every girl who's worth her weight in likes, likes don't weigh anything, so does that mean she's not worth anything? The point is that any girl who has a reasonable amount of followers is at least a 7, which means most guys would like to hit it, right? If you're at one of these cons and you are a lover or connoisseur of hentai or ecchi, then these girls, probably dozens of them, you would like to have for yourself, right? The reason you're not hitting them up is because you're not confident enough or they're way out of your league. And let me start there, actually. If you are a guy, and you go to one of these conventions and you're like overweight, you don't have your looks together, you don't have anything else in your life really together, especially the looks for this particular type of convention, then do not be hitting up these girls, man. Don't try to run game on girls that are like way out of your league. And I hate to say that chicks are out of your league based off of just looks, but the female currency, the female commodity, is their appearance after all. So if a girl looks ugly or is fat or something, then she's doing herself a disservice by reducing her value to 0. And if a girl is hot, then she raises it many points, you know? I wouldn't say 10 points, obviously, if 10 was a perfect score, but she can definitely raise it to like a 6, right? And then fill it in with like knowing how to cook, being respectful, kind, feminine, that kind of thing, right? But straight out the gate, if a girl is like an 8 in looks, then in female value, she's a 6 just off that. And if she can build on it, then she can get to, 7 and 8 and be like real waifu material. The point is that if you are a fugly ass dude, do not be going up to these 7s and like being like, hey, let me get your number, we'll hang out, that kind of thing. Like, you gotta know your place. Be a bro, in fact. I'll say be a bro, because when you do that, look, you have 0 chance, first off, if you're not looking very, very nice. And what you do is, you inflate their ego just by asking for it, and you put them in a defensive posture for the rest of us bros like yourself who are going to approach her later in the day. After she's told 22 nerds no, the 23rd, who happens to be a man, just gets an automatic no for no reason. She doesn't even compute. She's like, no, anyone talks to me, no. And if any of these girls from the conventions ends up seeing this video, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I've literally seen it. I've watched you guys out like that. You're like, enough. No, we can't have another. You know? Holy fuck. But yeah, guys, if they're out of your league, don't do that, because you put them in that defensive posture for actual men who they do want to give their number to. Because look, if they talk to me for more than 15 seconds, they're going to want to give me the number, whether they know it or not. They'll probably know that, yeah, he's looking kind of good. Like, I'll at least investigate, see what's up, But in the long run and the short run, any of them giving me their number is a good thing. But, they have their defensive posture up too much, because guys who are asking to be stepped on also ask for their number. We're going to have a problem. That actually brings me to the first one, the don't be a simp type shit, right? Stepped on. Don't let these bitches step on you. You think there's ever a girl in history who has ever stepped on a man that the guy wants to talk to? Or I can't say man. No chick ever steps on a man. You think there's ever a girl in history who's ever stepped on a guy who wants to talk to them, and then been like, oh yeah, here's my number, by the way. It's really hot that you let me disrespect you and treat you like a fucking rug. No. You think there's, in the 0.0000006% of relationships where there's a submissive guy and a dominant female, that the female like steps on him or spanks him with some weird shit and is meeting up with her other girlfriends or meeting other guys and going, yeah, I really respect my boyfriend. Like, he really looks out for me. Like, yeah, he's a good man. I have the utmost respect for him. He's a great leader. Those words have never been said about a dude that's been fucking stepped on. So fucking stop it. Look, it's enough if you go buy like a picture from her or some shit, but are you serious? You're gonna get spanked? You're gonna get stepped on? You can fucking stop it. I know that you've already reduced yourself mentally to the point of being worthless, but you don't have to share that with everyone at the convention. All right, we're moving on to the next one. Compliment showering, okay? So, have you ever been on any of these chicks' Instagrams? Have you ever looked at like their latest picture or a picture that they posted 24 weeks ago? Why are you also saying the same thing that's in their comment sections? Oh, wow. It was a 3-day convention. I was there all 3 days. I didn't give a single girl a single compliment about her looks, okay? I didn't even give a... Thinking about it, I didn't even give a chick a compliment about her cosplay. Holy fuck. I'm like low-key savage. I actually didn't think about not giving a girl a compliment on her cosplays. Just the way I spoke to them had nothing to do with like complimenting them on anything, really. But you just drop another, oh, you're beautiful. First off, some chick in 1 ounce of fabric is not fucking beautiful. That is the entirely wrong word. Look, when one of you simps finally get your shit together, and in like 30 years, you end up finding some girl who becomes your life partner, and you're smart enough to not marry her on paper, but you have a ceremony, and she's in a nice dress, and she's like your third life partner and you all live together with you and your 1 or 2 wives or whatever, right? When you look at her in a beautiful dress at that ceremony and you say she's beautiful, that is the correct choice and time and words to be used. When you see some chick with her D titties out and the only thing covering is like one nipple and one's free and titties are flapping in the wind and she doesn't have anything but pasties in her vajayjay, beautiful does not describe what you're looking at. She's looking thotty. At best you can say she's looking hot. I'll accept hot, okay? You're like, bitch looks hot. But do not confuse beautiful and hot as synonyms because they are not. Low-key busted rhymes in this bitch. So don't call these girls beautiful. Also, don't call them anything. Like, don't be another 10,000th compliment that they've gotten, okay? Chicks, especially like the ones who have booths, literally have gotten thousands of compliments since the beginning of the year that you see them in. Thousands! You, depending on how you look, might have only gotten a compliment this year from your mother. And your dad is still disappointed. So stop that. No compliments. Buying merch. So we're kind of going in the order of like worse to less worse. Buying merch. Now, these girls make their livings from merch. They make their living from brand deals with kinky companies and, of course, donations, blah, 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 blah. If you want to buy their merch, I would say don't. But if you want to buy their merch, just know that you're always going to be a customer. So you have now relegated yourself to shopper rather than potentially anything else. I bought no girls merch there. And I will buy no girls merch there. What I will buy is a bottle for them to drink at my house. They want to get something bought for them. They need to pull up with the panties down. Titties out, panties down, and it needs to be at my illustrious small mansion, okay? The last one is asking for IG. If one of the guys sees this, I hope he doesn't take offense because I really liked him, you know? I was going to say what cosplay he was, but if I tell what cosplay he was, then I might give it away because there wasn't a whole lot of those cosplays, although there was a few. But he talked to a couple girls. He saw me talk to some girls. And I was like, yo, roll up. And straight up, without missing a beat, he did it. So big props. Maybe I should say who he is because like I don't give a lot of dudes props in here because a lot of you guys need some educations on the relations. But yeah, he went up and he started, you know, he worked his way into some game. You know, got a picture with her, that kind of thing, right? Real quick, also, don't get pictures with him. If you ask for a picture, you've also relegated yourself to like customer or fan, right? Girls don't fuck fans, right? Just don't. I didn't get a picture with a single chick there as a cosplayer type take a picture with me thing. Just didn't, okay? But the reason you don't want to ask for their Instagram, and this is like the bottom of the list and last thing on the list for kind of simpy, is because it's less simpy and more just fucking not effective. Because these girls are getting hit up by tons of dudes because it's the internet. And on the internet, guys will be bold and just be like, fuck it, I've sent out 300 hellos today. Hi, beautifuls. I've sent out 300 of those today. What's 301? And now 301 for the day is your girl that they've contacted. So that translates into like 1,000 guys that your girl has seen the DMs from or deleted or ignored the DMs from. Right? And the only reason they don't have like DMs turned off unless you're a friend or they're following you is for business purposes, because the more these guys think that maybe they have a shot, the more money they might give, right? So they don't want to cut off income. So they're going to just accept DMs from whoever, right? They probably have a team member reading the DMs and occasionally responding to just a few of them, right? So when you go for her phone number and she deflects you to the DM department, you have been relegated to fan. Not at that moment, right? She's like, maybe I might talk to him later. At best case scenario, maybe I might talk to him later. But what really happens is even if she's thinking that, the weekend goes on, the con goes on, her ego continues to get more and more inflated with each passing day. And then when you end up DMing her, she's already received 1,000, 2,000 DMs since you last met her. She might not even see yours. And guess what? She's not following you back. Following her is not going to help her. She gets followers every fucking day. You want to be another follower? So the problem with Instagram is not that it's simpy, because guys do it because they're like, okay, well, having a shot to speak with her at least lets me take a shot and then I can go from there. But really, the only thing you're doing is wasting both y'all's time. You're wasting your time because it's not going to go anywhere, and you're wasting her time because it's going to take her 0.0000073% of a second to scroll right by your hello that she's not going to read on her list of many hellos that she will not read. So fuck the Instagram. Be a G about it, because if you're a G about it, you'll get some respect when you walk away. She'll remember that, even if like you turn heels and walk away. Because if a girl tries to give me Instagram, I tell her, oh yeah, I don't do Instagram, because no real connections are formed on Instagram, you know what I'm saying? And I'll be like, but put your number in this. I guarantee it's probably going to be the best thing you ever do. We'll stay in touch. Hand her the phone, let her do the thing, right? And I'm not going to talk a bitch into making her future better, because let's be honest, she talks to me, she is going to make her future better, straight up. She doesn't know that, right? She gets a lot of guys running up to her. So females have horrible instincts when it comes to detecting and picking men and knowing who's a good fit for them and who isn't. So all bitches at cons are confused. I promise you, this is worth putting a fortune on. I promise you, every bitch at the con is confused. They've had 22 simps run up to them, and when a real man comes up, they're like, oh, well, hey, no, but why is no simp detected? Oh, something's wrong. Oh, default answer. They're robo-hoes, okay? Robo-hoes. Default answer. But if you can get them for a second to stop being a robo-ho, they might see who you are for a second. And in that moment, you let them know what's good, tell them put in the number, and there's a good chance they'll do it. Like, real talk. So, yeah, don't go for the Instagram. Just let them know, hey, can't form a real connection with anybody on Instagram. That's not how that works, but, you know, we'll stay in touch. You put your number right here, we'll talk. Very, very simple. And yeah, if they're at all interested in you, then yeah, they'll put the number in. But that's why I say you can't be simpy and you can't be out of your league, because you come up with a 250-pound pot belly trying to talk to some chick who's legitimately a 7 or 8 on the hotness scale. Remember, the shit only goes at 10, you know, and she put all her stats, including brain cell stats, into her tits. So she knows she looks good. And then you show up looking like fucking, I don't know, Dumbledore, bro. I mean, no. You could have like 3 Maseratis, but you'll never get to the point where you can show her that that's what you've got. If she chose to entertain a connection with you and see who you really are, like, you'll never get to that point because you can't pass the hot inspection. I pass every fucking hot inspection. Look, I can say this with confidence. I was there for 3 fucking days. I was the only man with veins in the building. The only one. And we'll touch back on that a little bit, because if not me, then who is what I was saying. You know what I'm saying? So don't ask for the Instagram. Now, the second part of this video revolves around sadness, because being simpy is sad. And when you're like asking some chick to spit on you or beat you or step on you, not only are you forever returning your man card to the man administration of God, Connecticut, in which it will likely never be issued again. You're just a fucking boy simp, a child simp, not even a male anymore. When you let some chick do that, it's not just simpy, it's sad. And so I spoke with some of these simps, right? To kind of like get in their mind, because look, I have told you guys time and time again on my YouTube and other places and people that I meet in real life that I don't make many mistakes. I am not a mistake maker. I don't know if I made a mistake this whole fucking year. The whole year! But what I can tell you is that one of the things I have done, and is clearly a mistake, and I didn't realize it for a while, was assuming that other men, other people in general, were like me. I'm an outlier, by far. But I naturally thought that other people could perceive the world and see the world for what it was and understand things the way that I do and comprehend quickly and things of that nature. And like, not being mean to you, but you guys can't. And those chicks never had a shot, which is why men lead, women follow. But men, without being taught, can't figure out how to lead in a timely fashion. This is just the reality of it. So I'm at a convention full of like nerds, of course. That's fine. I don't have a problem with nerds. Yo, I'm at the convention. I like hentai bitches. This splooge chick on her face, I got her number right now. She's from New York, okay? I'm not gonna be up here pretending that I don't like fan service and I don't like anime and I don't like nerd culture. Hell, I have one of the best Wolverine cosplays out there. And I don't just cosplay because I, pull off a good Wolverine, being built and everything. I cosplay Wolverine because I really like Wolverine and a lot of the things about and around him. So yeah, I'm there with the nerds, participating in the nerd things. Happily. The problem comes in is when you guys don't go outside. Like, you nerds, or you go to conventions and you meet other nerds, but you're not making moves outside. Your social skills are not where they need to be. I gave some red pill speeches to the guys while I was hitting up numbers. And I was telling them that I have a quota for the day, every single day, which increases each day as the con goes. And they were very all impressed, as any man should be, because for them, talking to girls takes a lot of guts. And it does. But I don't have guts. There's no stomach behind these abs. There's just more abs, baby. But that's how I roll. So I was trying to pass a little bit of information and insight on how not to have hesitation to these gentlemen. And what I learned is that these guys have had either poor relationships or no relationships in a really, 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 really long time. And I got right down to it, learning about some of their lives and how fucking lonely it is for these guys, right? And I mean, we all know that Western countries, especially America, it has the worst dating market in the fucking world. If you're like a 4 as a guy in America, you're getting 0 bitches. Absolutely goose egg, man. I don't know, goose eggs are actually kind of cool, so you just get 0s, bro. And 0 doesn't mean much unless you're a Japanese ninja. If you're a Japanese ninja named Zero, then you running it. But I'm guessing none of your Japanese ninjas named Zero. So having a 0 is kind of a problem in this case. So these guys were telling me how, like, their last girl, it was a bad relationship, and like they got taken advantage of. Go figure, motherfucker, you're getting stepped on. I was talking to another guy, and he didn't get stepped on, but a lot was going on in his family. And, cons is like one of his only outlets for actual entertainment and happiness, right? But he had been single for years. And so I didn't ask what his type was because, like, obviously, he's very flexible in these times of constraint. But he was saying any girl who gives him the time of day is his type. And he was dead fucking serious. Like, he wasn't fucking around. As we had a conversation over time, he said this multiple times. He was like, hey, man, I'm not like you. Any girl who gives me the time of day, yeah, that's my type. And I was like, oh, fuck! That's where we're at. So obviously he's not savable in just one sit down with me, right? Oh, by the way, here's a wristband, we out there. But he's not savable. I mean, what can you do? Hold on real quick. I'm getting the fucking TsumiCon badge. Oh yeah, let me flex and sets with the TsumiCon. Drip drip on the necks. Okay, so yeah, we got the badge now, right? We're gonna wrap it around the wrist, right? Got the TsumiCon badge. So here's the thing though, right? I'm talking to him, he said any girl's his type. And I'm like, nah, So he's out of shape, like he's not super young, anything like that, right? But he enjoys conventions, he enjoys nerd culture. He makes pretty good money. He needs to work on his fitness and his confidence, clearly, right? And so he's at a point where he's been single so long that any girl who goes, hey, take me out to dinner, he's buying 3 dinners the same night and taking her to all she can eat at any place she wants. And that's not going to get him respected by these girls, right? Sure, chicks want to be like spoiled and they want to be taken care of, but they want a man to do it, not just some lonely guy who's saying yes because they said yes. I told him how picky I am, man, because I am picky, right? Like, sure, if a chick's like, a 7 in the right situation, definitely fuckable. If a chick's like an 8, wreck that shit. And any number above that, you can only imagine what would happen to her with JJ, right? Fair enough. But I told him I'm picky because if you're a hot chick, but you don't know how to treat me or react to me or follow my lead, then you're out the door probably before I even get you to the side of the bed, So that'll probably never happen. Because the moment I detect any kind of attitude, I'll move on to the next girl. Fuck you, right? In fact, quick story. There was a girl that I was talking to, or that I spoke to. Talking to implies that, I got a number, we're talking shit. Because there's those too. But there's a girl I spoke to, and I was like, hey, let me grab your number. And she was like, By the end of the night, she was lonely and trying to talk to me. But when she did, all she got was blizzard. You gonna give me a little cold early? well, I'm gonna give you the whole fucking blizzard late. Fuck out of here, bitch. But that's just how I roll, you know? I mean, look at me. Who else you think walked up to her in the day looking like that? No one. So she was dumb enough to like be like, nah, I'm not doing that. No number. Don't show up later. Now that your head's a little less foggy and your ego's a little bit more deflated, and then try to talk to me. No, fuck out of here. So yeah, I was talking to him and I was telling him, hey man, you're worth more than that. Because yeah, look, most girls there are out of his league, but it wasn't about just that night. It was about in general. I don't want him to go out and finally some girl's like, yeah, take me on a date. She's probably gonna be like a 3 or a 4, right? Looks wise. Take me on a date and then take him for a ride on his money, right? Because chicks will do that. Chicks are the most opportunistic creatures on the planet. They're savage. They're scavengers. All of them. And the reason they're scavengers is because females can't be hunters. Look at me. In worst case scenario, I go take whatever the fuck I want. What you gonna do? In best case scenario, I can barter or do a legitimate trade respectfully, and you're gonna respect me right back. But a girl can't go just brute force her way through anything in life. She can sets her way through something, and that's actually it. Like, yeah, that's all she's got. So girls are master manipulators of weak male egos and emotions, because that's their primary way of taking advantage of someone. If I want to take advantage of someone, my primary way would be grabbing them by the throat. It's very simple. It's 2 different approaches to the same end of getting whatever the fuck you want. Now that I've explained that, you kind of understand why girls do what they do. But they don't want to. Like, if you've ever met somebody stealing food for their family, they don't want to, but it's convenient. A lot of men are showing up being simpy. They're just easy targets, easy marks. And these girls are like, free food. Not literally, but sometimes also literally, like, they're just free money, free opportunity. And someone like him comes along, they're going to just super run them for as long as they can, because they're not going to respect him at any point. It's not like they're going to start off with his simpiness and then somewhere along the way be like, he's a really nice guy. Somewhere along the way, they're going to meet me at a convention. I'm like, yo, give me your number. You'll be glad you did. And they're like, oh shit, this guy, look at him, fucking abs and abs. He says he doesn't even have a stomach, just more abs. And who knows what's below the abs. I'm like, hey, maybe you can find out. Hey, there goes the number. I don't want that to happen to him, where he's just pouring his soul out for some chick who's taking advantage of him just to run into some man who will lead her in the right direction. And then he's just like up shit's creek without a paddle, as they say, and without any profits, any gains. She'll be telling him, oh yeah, I don't move that fast. I try to be a good girl. Never sleep with him. And then meets me one night and she's like giving it up immediately before she can get to the bedside. She's like, fucking take me in the garden. But him, he's waited 6 months paying for everything and she's never even given him a hand job. So I was explaining that to him because, believe it or not, that's the situation a majority of these guys are at the convention. I talked to some other guys who had gone a long time without a relationship. In fact, the Tengen guy holding the sign wasn't doing well with relationships. And, I mean, that's not a real Tengen then, right? I'm talking about doing a cosplay Tengen. If I do a cosplay Tengen, I'm showing up with bitches. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to show you motherfuckers I'm Tengen. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The thing you have to understand is that these guys are a little awkward, but it's not because they're bad people. It's not even because they have bad social skills. It's because they're in a bad place in their life and nobody showed them how to get out of it. And they're actually just sad people. They're sad gentlemen. Every guy I spoke to who was lonely and without a relationship didn't seem near as aggressive as me, didn't seem near as mean as me, and also didn't look near as good as me. So maybe there's some correlation to all of that. But they seem like good guys who are just, they'd be happy to have a girl who was hot, number one, right? They wanted these good-looking girls in cosplays and shit. Even some of the chicks in cosplays who were like 5s, they still were interested in them. They just wanted a girl who enjoyed what they also enjoy, who looks pretty good. But because of their lack of ability to attract a mate, they became a little simpy. And that's what happens to some people who like do the gender identity type switching. They're like, it's too hard living the life I have now. I gotta do something else. So they just try shit. And so I was talking to these guys, trying to lead them in the right direction. Obviously, 3 days at a convention isn't enough to change somebody's life to the degree that they need changing, but I do believe what I said stuck, and it will help them. And hopefully some of them find the channel and they can start actually moving forward and getting real girls in their life. So we talked about how guys are simpy. We talked about the sad reality of their simping. They're really fucking lonely, like take your own life type lonely, right? And they really are. But now let's talk about the fun, because that's how we get shit done. So the fun is all about me, okay? So I showed up, big pimpin', big baby. Big you did big. So I was saying that I would explain confidence, right? And I've been doing that. But if not me, then who? What does that mean? Well, that means that when you really spend time in yourself to make yourself valuable, to make yourself formidable for anything in any area of the world, then you can look at a group of girls and you can say one thing. If they're not gonna fuck me, then who would they, right? I mean, we're talking muscles on muscles. I don't even have a stomach. I just have abs on abs. I am a perfectly built specimen of amazingness. Thus the god in the Connecticut, right? And I look around and I see a bunch of overweight otakus. I see a few in-shape guys. And you might say, well, maybe they like the in-shape guys, but really? The whole time there was very few, or guys who were in shape in general, right? There was like a small group of dudes with a couple girls, and the girls were like, whatever, and the guys are like in what would be considered pretty good shape. But that group of guys are just like, they kind of had like this femboy, small, lean thing going on, like nothing like this, right? And you might say, maybe some girls like the small, kind of lean, kind of femboy look. And you're not wrong. There's certain communities on the internet where that thing, it does exist. And if you like a trim femboy, I can barely even say it. It's like repulsive to me. A trim femboy, I still barely can say it. Then obviously, a monster is the complete opposite. It might scare the fuck out of you. But that's such a small community, if you can even call it a community, right? They look like some little dudes from like a manga fantasy novel, right? And they had like little boy shorts on, and they weren't men, that's for sure. They were male, and they were in decent shape, but they weren't men. You know what I'm saying? So I look around, and I see only that and a couple other guys aside from them in shape. And I'm telling you that as a small femboy, if I picked one of them up like a fucking Tyrannosaurus Rex and ate them, I would only get half the protein that I needed for the fucking day. So I get to sit back like a king on a throne. And I go, she'd have to be insane, because if not me, then fucking who? No one. You're out of your mind if you don't roll with me. If you're not trying to, get destroyed by me, you would have to be on some type of drugs that are illegal in all corners of the planet. So when I say, if not me, then who? It's not a question. It's a realization that I've done what needs to be done, so that I'm the only logical choice, or the only, not a choice, right? You don't choose me, I choose you, and you hop on board the starship, right? I'm the only logical route for true success in their relationship or dating life, even if I choose to have them for short term. Because if you look around, what else could you be rolling with? So if not me, then who? That's what that means. It's not a question. It's pretty rhetorical, because I already know the answer. And that's genuinely where you as a man want to get yourself to, where you can look around and any girl at any time, as long as you're in the room, has no to few options. Now, these girls don't know that on the surface of their thinking, but instinctively, because we all run instincts. That's exactly what they know, learn, and feel, because they're very feely creatures. So keep that in mind when you're elevating, because that's also where you get to when it comes to business and other forms of interactions with people. People recognize you when you've done well with and for yourself. And they'll even think to themselves, hell, that's the best one around. That's the best I've seen. In fact, not me, then who? If not him, then who? Like, that's fucking amazing. So keep that in mind. So let me preface this by saying, remember to always stay in your league. If you're not looking good as a male, then that's something that you need to improve on, and then go get some good looking bitches, especially at a convention. Maybe somewhere else you can fucking try it if you're feeling super desperate, but at a convention, if you're a guy and you're not at least what you would classify for another guy as like a 6 or a 7, you have zero shot of pulling bitches. Okay, going to this convention actually helped solidify for myself exactly how hot I am. Because I had girls coming up to me asking me for my number. That was fucking crazy. As a man, you can appreciate just how crazy that is to show up and look good enough that girls ask you for your number. Bruh. So remember, stay in your league, but even so, no fat bitches. Which basically means that if you're fat, you can't date. So fits that. Because if you're fat and you can't date fat bitches, the only bitches that will be in your league are also fat bitches. And we don't do that around here because that sends the wrong message to everyone. And let me explain that super fast, right? If you're a fat guy and then you go talk to a fat chick, you inflate her fat ego. And then she will never improve herself as a human. She'll always just be fucking fat because you and other fat dudes talk to her, and chicks, their little brains don't distinguish between, how should I put it, fantasy and reality. They only see the fantasy part, that some guy, they forget that you're fat. So when you want to fuck them, they remember you're fat. But when they want to remember how many guys have told them that they look good, they don't remember you're fat. They're just like, oh yeah, 12 guys this week told me they look good. Yeah, and 11 of them were fat. One of them was your dad. So if you're a fat guy, stop talking to fat bitches. Just get yourself into a good, suitable shape where you are an attractive mate for a girl who is a 7 or an 8. That's all I'm going to say on that, because that's all there is. You're just fucking up the game by trying, because you're not going to get anywhere. You're going to fake these fat bitches' heads, and they're not going to look any better for themselves or anyone else. They're just going to be fat forever and getting compliments for fat guys, and they're going to die with a room full of cats because no one of any value wanted to marry them or keep them. It's going to be your fault. And you're going to die alone too, because you're still going to be fat and, well, basically socially worthless. Which, let's be honest, if you're socially worthless, you are worthless. That's how people are judged, by their social value. Don't get mad at the messenger. Don't get mad at me for speaking the truth. Fucking deal with it. I did make a little thing to mention. If you are a guy who's like a 5, right? But you have something unique going on in your life, you know? Maybe you have a Lambo. Maybe your business is super successful. Maybe you have a lot of followers on one of the social medias. Then yeah, you can go after a 7, even though you're a little below average or something along those lines, right? Because status trumps everything. If you have enough status, right? And I mean real status, where people are coming up to you, knowing you run the show, you big dog in some area, then that will give you a surprising amount of brownie points, despite maybe not being a 8 or a 9 or 10 as a man in the physical spectrum. Because as a man, you're checking off other check boxes. A lot of other check boxes. So if you're a 5 and you got an interesting life going on, like you're Dan Blazarian, but you're a 5, then yeah, you can talk to a 7 chick and it will probably go okay. But if you're an average dude and you're a 5, you can talk to another 5 and she won't give you her number. Because their egos are fucking inflated by the 2s and the 3s that keep approaching them. So don't you be the 5 that fucks up the 7 for the guy who's a 7. Makes sense? Yeah, you get it now. Alright. Oh yeah. That's another thing I was going to mention. So at a convention, the first thing that's important is how physically attractive you are. Alright? That's the first thing. Followed by status. Okay? And the reason status is the second thing and not the first thing is because at a convention where everybody's looking at each other's looks as they approach each other, you could have 5 million followers, but they'll never be around to find out because you look like shit. So physical attractiveness is number 1 at a convention. Second, status. Are people coming up to you asking for pictures, asking to hang out? Are you with a bunch of people? You know, do you have a lot of followers? That kind of thing, right? Anything else that you could think of, the money you have, the car you drive, is a much distant third, okay? Much distant third. That's the reality of it. You don't think so? Change my mind. You can. That's what I thought, bitch. All right. Let's talk running game. This video is going to be a little longer than I thought, but so running game. I'm just going to say it. And I won't name cosplayers or girls whose numbers I've gotten. But what I will say is that I've gotten at this convention, not just over a lifetime, at this TsumiCon convention right here, okay? At this convention, I got some of the biggest cosplayers numbers after a decent conversation with them and everything. So who knows what kind of good luck they might fall into by rolling up to my place, okay? I'll also say that I got a lot of just average cosplayers numbers and some chicks who weren't even cosplaying who were just like chilling, right? They came through. What I will say is that I got more than 20 phone numbers, more than 20 over the course of the 3 days. What I won't say is my exact formula, although some of the guys there have a pretty good idea of what it was. See, here's the thing, right? I'm not just collecting numbers. For those of you who follow my channel, for those of you who might know me from the convention and also a little bit of real life, you know that I was genuine with these girls. Like, I actually, like, sure, fucking them is cool. you know? But that's surface level. I actually do intend to network with them and do stuff that could help their career and, you know, help their day-to-day life. I do have a content house. I am the man that I say I am and portray that I am. I do have a real little nice ride in the garage. I do have a house that's newer than their cars for the ones that drive. Some of these chicks don't drive. What the fuck? Everything I say I am, I am. And all the things that I say I do, I do. You can say, yeah, I ran game on these girls. And for the sake of the title or something, I might say that too. But that almost sounds like someone's being disingenuous just to get some pussy. The fact is, yeah, I'm there to get some bad bitches to like tear their insides open and leave them basically for a corner once I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Like rip that up. Some hentai shit. But the truth of the fact of the matter is that everything that I told them portrayed me to be the man, the amazing man that I am, who can look out for them and, you know, be helpful for them. And if they can depend on, it's all true. And here's the cooler thing about it, right? Is that for those girls from the convention that end up following in my orbit, I will do the things that I say I'm going to do for them. As long as they're doing the things that they should be doing for me. It's very simple. Okay, I'll accept the fact that I do have an advantage over most of you guys watching this video in that area. What I won't accept as an excuse or a reason is that you're not at my level yet. That's not a reason for you not to go out and try to make connections with girls that are reasonably within your level of physical attractiveness and actually get a girlfriend from a convention or an outing or an event or a concert or a rave or whatever may be going on. I got more than 20 numbers. And for some weirdo who's watching this, or for some chick, or for some e-thought who might see this video, she's like, okay, whatever. But for any guy, any male, or any man who hears that, you know that's a fucking tremendous amount. Because even for an amazing looking guy like me, who has an amazing setup in life, to go up and get a girl's number, or get girls' numbers, more often than not is actually pretty rare. Even if it's a 60% no, 40% yes split, it's rare that there's ever a point in time where a good-looking man goes out and his success rate of getting girls' numbers and having good conversations with them is more than 50%. In fact, that's almost unheard of. But I was much higher than even 70% at the convention. And then I have a few theories as to why that is, but you know what? That's some sauce I'm not going to be sharing in this video. And deal with it. You're not at my level yet. I'm going to help you at least get above the level you're at. Be thankful. Now that we're talking about numbers, let's talk about dates, okay? Some of you might have seen me with a goth girl. You know which one I'm talking about. The one with the little cute gothy skirt and the lipstick and everything. The pale chick. She's goth. You know. If you were there, then you probably know if you saw me with her, right? Some of you might have seen me with a tiny Asian girl. Hell, you might even see me leaving with the small chick with the big ass titties and the tiny waist. You might have been there for that. Fuck. You know? I'm sure some of you have seen me with all of these girls. I don't know if you've seen all of them. But I'm sure there's people at the convention who be like, oh yeah, I did see him with that chick. For sure, right? And you might have seen me leaving with these girls. You know, one of these chicks actually had a one-day pass, right? And after talking to me, she decided she was coming back the next day and she was going to dress up for me. And spoiler alert, she did because you fucking saw her. That's some big dog shit right there, right? Now, I am going to toot my own horn a little bit because I'm not going to lie. I'm proud. Like, sure, I go out to clubs and I go places and yeah, I meet girls and stuff like that, right? But even someone like myself, every once in a while, even though I can see what's in the mirror, right? I know how hard it is out there. And even so, I'm like, man, is this country a place where I really want to be in the dating market? And after this con, I can safely still say no. But after this con, I can say that, you know what? I can see how there's hope for men who do have their shit together if they're in the right place. But that's another video for another time. I still say go to another country. The West is still the worst place for dating. And of course, just because I have their numbers doesn't mean they're going to be great dating material or that they're going to be wonderful in a relationship, right? They could be great for one night. They could be great to talk to. Who fucking knows, right? The other cool thing I noticed, right, as far as running game goes, because we're talking about running game now, right, is that I got approached quite a bit, especially for a man. I got approached more than some of the girls there did, okay? And let me just say that for any guy, any man, any manlet, anything that does not have a vajayjay between their own legs can tell you that is almost unheard of. right? I got approached so many times at this convention. Bro, I'm still riding the ego high, okay? And I probably will be for quite some time. I can honestly say that for once, I understand why these e-thoughts are addicted to validation, you know? Except for I still remember my role in life, society, and a girl's life. I'm not confused where like I do know I super duper know I'm this shit, this shiznitch now, right? But these girls hit me up because they're DMing me right now. They're talking to me. Not even DMing me, right? They're texting me straight up. Connection to connection. And you know, when I hang out with these girls, that's cool. I'm going to treat them right. I'm going to look out for them, you know. I'm going to show them how they should look out for a man because I know that their parents didn't teach them. They're going to learn from me. And I'm cool teaching them that. That's fine. Fuck it, right? But it was just so interesting seeing how popular with girls that I was without even walking up to them, just existing. So it was a nice feeling. And I'm sure if you're a good looking guy and you go to some of these conventions, whether you experience it on my level or not, you'll have some of that feeling and you'll understand that, yeah, man, just straight from that, you do carry some value as well, just from your looks. As a man, though, of course, that's definitely not where it stops. And even for a woman who wants to be an actual woman, looks isn't where it stops. But it is a nice feeling, right? They get that shit all the time. I had it for 3 days. Putting it into perspective, right? The whole time I was there, like, if I tell you guys, I got 100 compliments while I was there, like, your lid is gonna blow. I got more than 100 compliments while I was there, right? Crazy for a man, right? That's like low-key celebrity status. But for these girls here, they got 100 compliments on the first day. Like, the lowest level, 7, in a revealing my titties are out cosplay, got 100 compliments the first day. Got invited to all the parties the first day. Right? To put it into perspective. All right, so now let's talk about approaching, okay? We're going to talk about where not to do it. We're going to talk about where to do it. So let's start about where not to do it. Where do you not talk to a girl at a convention, be it cosplay or otherwise? Well, you don't talk to a girl at her booth or whatever venue she might have, right? Not while she's running it, you know? And the reason you don't do that is because you're in customer mode. There's other chicks next to her who are in e-thought, I'm only here to make money mode. There might be her manager there. And like, bitch, what do you mean you giving him your number? What are you talking about? We're running a business here. Like, you don't fuck or suck. You just make them think you will, okay? I better not see you getting another fucking number again. So you can't catch them at the booth. If you want to talk to these girls, you have to catch them in the convention somewhere away from their setup. Because that's when they're not in the money mode. Also, here's another thing that you have to think about. Kind of like I have an image. Not only do I not want to be stepped on, I literally can't be stepped on. That would be the end of my brand. I'm having a hard time saying this, motherfuckers. But can you imagine a video? Can you imagine a video hitting the internet? A fucking devil bicep flips. Guy getting stepped on by some fat bitch? Okay, come on. I'm actually genuinely laughing too hard. It will never happen, alright? This could be Germany and Nazi times, okay? And I'm not letting a fat Nazi step on me, okay? Like, I don't care what the consequences are. Like, nah, you know what I'm saying? So, you would take that to the bank, okay? You can bet your mama's life on it. Like, straight the fuck up. Okay, I only had one pair of feet on my back, and it's the only situation where it would happen, okay? We're gonna keep this story very short, but me and my homeboy were trying to escape a interesting situation. I'm not even going to the details. Fuck you guys. If you know, you know, and you probably don't know. But if you know, you know. And I'm athletic. My boy, far less athletic. We needed to hit a fence. He couldn't hit a fence. So I ducked down. I said, jump on my back. He said, are you sure? Motherfucker, we don't have time to talk about it. He jumped on my back. I hoisted his ass over. And then like a motherfucking ninja, I like fucking backflipped over that shit. Easy peasy. And then we were out. And that's all the details you motherfuckers get. But yeah, nobody's gonna step on me. Like, fuck out of here, you know? I might save your life. You might get to hop on my back or something. I carry your ass to victory. But, oh man, never. So don't talk to them at the booth or a place that they're working because they're in money mode, they're in fan mode, they're in customer mode. Catch them away from that area. Now let's talk about where to do it because that's a better thing to tell you guys, right? Because I could tell you all day what not to do. Don't jump off of a bridge. Don't drink poison. You know? Don't shoot yourself in the foot. Don't ride a horse upside down. Like, I can tell you what not to do all day, but the real question is, okay, well, what the fuck do I do? Don't try to fix your DVD player with bubble gum. Like, okay, we fucking get it. But what do I do? How do I fix the thing? It's pretty simple. It's the whole confidence thing, being a man of value, both physically and in your day-to-day. Sure, because when you get past the physical part, they're going to discover your day-to-day and who you are, and you better live up to the hype. Fair enough, right? You better be the things that you say you were, or that you portray you are, right? Sure, fair enough is to be expected, but where do you talk to them? Well, there's mutual areas like parties, after parties, there's lobbies, there's pools, there's other places where you can tell that they're socializing and not at work and have that money mentality. Because even when I'm, working, I do actually have kind of a money mentality, and it's like, yo, don't bother me. Dollars, baby. We stacking the chips in this bitch. And girls get like that, but yeah, they're a little bit more in that mode because girls juggle modes less efficiently than men. So once they're in a fan and client mode, they don't know a good man who walks up to them. They just fan client money. A man could be in fan client money mode and then still see a very attractive girl who's feminine and sweet and be like, you know what? Sure, you can get my number. Send you a picture when you text me so I remember who you are. These chicks aren't going to do that. So you can't catch them where they're working. Now we got that out of the way. Let's talk about red pill confidence. Red pill! God, Connecticut. So what is red pill confidence, okay? So your duty is to impress to some degree. But red pill confidence is knowing that you're still the motherfucking prize. And what do I mean by you're still the motherfucking prize? What does that even mean? Well, here's why it's important to make sure that you know, but it's actually even more important, or I don't know, maybe just as important to make sure that she fucking knows. Okay, so let's talk about the early dating breakdown, and that's going to explain a bit to you why you're the prize. What I was saying, because I told these gentlemen that I do have a quota while we were sitting outside, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do you guys a once-in-a-lifetime favor. And the cameraman, yo, he was on it, brother. He was like, I want to see this. He was keeping score for me. I'll explain score later, maybe, right? But he was keeping score for me. He's like, I want to see this. Because this is shit that nobody has seen in their life. You don't run up into a man as red-pilled as me who's going to, like, literally in a real fucking time show you the way to pick up girls, okay? Like, do you know how many girls I got there? Like, what? You don't run into that. That's not an everyday occurrence. You run into other otakus, other nerds, other very shy dudes. Here's the thing. They watched it in real time, and they could attest to it because I had witnesses, bro. Dozens, literally, of guys like, holy fuck, this man's a master. And I am, because, well, I'm authentic, and I'm honest, and everything I'm telling these girls, I know that I can do or am doing or will do. So that helps my confidence. But let's break down why you're the prize, because that's what we're talking about right now, right? The reason that you're the prize. So first I told them, one of the things that helps me be confident is that I know that I'm actually, it's me who's actually ultimately the prize. Not because I'm, as a man, just as hot as them or hotter, the scale, right? But because I know my duties and my roles and I perform them. They might have to be taught this shit. I talked to a girl who didn't know how to cook. As you're not surprised, several girls, many girls, a lot of girls don't know how to cook, right? And that's like a normal waifu duty. Like, you should be able to get a hot ass breakfast in the morning. The girls I'm with know how to do that. So here's the thing. Dinners. Who's paying for the dinners? Who's selecting the place that you guys go to for dinner? It's going to be you. It's going to be you. What I told him was, okay, so it's your job to woo the girl in the beginning, right? You're supposed to win her affection, right? I kind of understand that. The part where you lose me is where she doesn't understand how she's supposed to reciprocate being won. Because what do you really win as a man? The right to pay for her dinners? Huh? Your guys' dinners? She ain't ponying up. I don't care if you get one of these cosplay chicks who are making like $80,000, $100,000 a year. She's not paying for your shit. You're still paying off your $30,000, $40,000 or whatever salary you make. It's still gonna be you. Transportation. You're driving or you're getting a driver to take you guys to the different places. You're planning it out. You're running the show and the route. What do? You win the right to pay for dinner. You win the right to pay for transportation. What do? You win the right to go shop, to pay for the shopping. You win the right to pay for her clothes, her slippers or heels or tennis shoes or skirt or thotty ass outfit. You win the right to pay for all that shit. What do you really win when you win her? You win the right to be the one who has to deal with her emotional support needs. When she needs to cry on somebody's shoulder, you win the right to have to be there for that. What are you really winning by winning her? I'm like, exactly, you don't win anything. What? She has some nice tits and like what? She has a decent pussy that's hopefully and probably very used up. Okay, that's what you want. So that's why you're the prize. Because when you first talk to a chick, right, you're talking to her because she's hot. You're like, yeah, I like to bust that down. Straight up, let's be honest. But as the relationship progresses, past a week even, if a girl fucks you and gets your admiration, she immediately gets a full return of that. Well, when you guys fuck, right? Have you ever seen a girl like orgasm? As a guy, you're like, oh, this is kind of nice. Girls be shaking and shit like they're fucking possessed by the poltergeist. So I can only imagine how nice it also feels for them. So it's not like, having sex is a one-way street. She's feeling good too. But even so, like counting that aside, she's already got more than a full return within the first week. Where you're taking her out to dinner, where you're planning the next week to go to a movie. I mean, think about also physical protection. If you guys are out, somebody slaps her ass, she doesn't even look at the dude who slaps her ass. He's already gone. He's like, he might be standing there, but in her mind, that's not an issue. She's looking at you. Did you see that guy slap my ass? What are you going to do? She's looking at you to fix the problem. You're like, bitch, it's your ass. Like, this is our first time going out on a date. Like, what do you want me to do? She's like, not let my ass get smacked. Like, what? I thought you were a man. So real fast, it becomes, I thought you were a man. When like shit goes down. When some glass breaks downstairs and you guys sleep up in the bedroom, I thought you were a man, right? She's not going downstairs with a baseball bat. The fuck you playing? Like, who do you think you're talking to? She ain't going anywhere. She might run into the closet and lock the closet and leave you in the bedroom, hoping somebody doesn't come upstairs and like murders everybody. But the only person who's going to take care of the fucking problem of the break-in is motherfucking you. You have huge duties and responsibilities the day one that you start dating a girl. So who's really the prize? Egg fucking exactly. And I did say exactly with 2 G's. I didn't put the X there. I said egg, like a fucking omelet. Deal with it. And it's true. So I keep this in my mind when I'm talking to a girl because she's like, yeah, he might bust down the pussy, but I'm the prize. I'm like, nah, bitch. If I bust down the pussy, first off, the shit I do is amazing. Second off, the way I plan shit, run shit, take care of a relationship, and protect those, not just females, but anyone under my umbrella, including my homeboys, is motherfucking legendary. I'm a real G through and through. You're not going to just find that. And if you're anything or become anything like that, then you're absolutely the prize. And she's just a bystander. She's like in the atrium on the stadium, and you're the main event, son. And I realize that. So yeah, when I talk to these girls, I have the utmost confidence because like if she says, oh no, I don't give out my number or some shit, well, all right, bitch, you just saved me money. You just saved me time. And hell, you might be so much of a thought. You might get me in a fight. You might have saved me from having to beat the shit out of somebody too. Facts. And if she does get the number, then I'm like, all right, cool. Well, you just got yourself a little bit more investment from me because I'm a real G that can literally change your life. When I talk to these girls and I'm telling them I have a content house, I have a content house. I have a house newer than their fucking car. I got a car better than their car. I got it all together. I'm doing big shit out here. So I'm honest with them. And wherever I was in life, I've always been honest with girls and told them, hey, this is what it is. I've always been a G. The idea is to get you guys G'd up a little bit more. So when you're honest with them, you're not just running game, you're telling them the truth. Something that they can immediately respect to some degree. So that they know their place while they're talking to you. Because when a girl hears this, she already knows that she can't stack up to what I'm able to offer. So she immediately takes that. Remember hypergamy, girls date. They say across and up, but generally girls date up. So be able to establish that dominance from the very first conversation, man. That was early dating, right? Dinners, transportation, shopping, emotional support, physical protection. Let's talk about mid-dating. You thought it was over, didn't you? No, you're still the prize, not just early dating. We're talking mid-dating as well. So what happens in mid-dating? We're talking bills, right? If I'm talking to a girl, I've been tearing it up for a while, and she's like, oh shit, I don't have any Netflix. You think I'm not going to pony up, what is it, 15, 20 bucks? I don't know how much Netflix is. I don't really do Netflix, but whatever the fucking Netflix is, you think I'm gonna just let her go without Netflix? Like fucking her heater goes out and she needs like heat in her home. You think I'm not gonna help her out with that? So yeah, like bills, right? I'm gonna step up, I'm gonna help. She's been, doing things in other areas to keep my interest this long. Yeah, I got her back. It's fine. What about health emergencies? What about cosmetic surgeries? If I wanted to have bigger tits, you think I'm not going to get her bigger tits? I'll do it. What about traveling? You think I'm not taking hot bitches with me when I go on vacation? Yeah. So she gets all of this. And what did she do? Spread her legs, be feminine, be nice. It's the ultimate deal if you're a hot chick. And I would do these things for a hot chick just doing that, more or less, right? Feminine, hot, trustworthy, obedient, submissive. She does those things. All of the above are available. And why not, you know? Now, let's talk late dating. This is also why you're the prize. Not just early, not just mid, but even late, you're still the prize, right? So you move her in, right? Now she's living with you. She's saving all kinds of money, you know? She's there every day. You guys are having a wonderful time every day. She's seeing her man every day. She's proud. She's bragging. Yeah. Instant status even for her. For a girl, saying I got a man to take me seriously is the same status as when I say I left with 3 bitches at the convention, okay? What about family planning? However you guys decide to plan a family or do a family, you're going to be there making sure that goes smoothly if you want one. What about finances? Well, if you move her in, now we're talking about, you know, where we're going to go the next level in life. How do we get to $1 million, whatever that is, right? How do we get the brand new car? How do we make sure that future is secure and fun? That's going to be you who leads that. She can't. I assure you. Every chick you see who seems to be doing good on the internet is led by a man, even if it's behind the scenes. I assure you this. Look at Amaranth, for instance. It came out that she's more of an industry plant than anybody thought. It was her man who made her famous, who convinced her to hop on the internet, who directed her. And that's how it is with all of these girls. There's a man, whether it's an agency or a boyfriend or something of that nature, directing her, because girls don't know what men really like. They can't do it on their own. They really can't. I saw girls in skimpy outfits and you talk to them and it was like, no, I'm not interested, even if you have a skimpy outfit. But girls who have a man in their life can direct them behind the scenes and make you think that they're smart enough to do it on their own. They're not. They just aren't. So even so, you're going to have to be the one who handles the finances and plans the direction in life to take you guys to victory. You're a man, and that's fine. And it's fine that you do that, right? Business. You think she's closing business deals? You think she's hopping online for the final call of a multi-million-dollar transaction, saying yay or nay? Come on. Let's not fucking kid ourselves. You are going to have to lead that for your family and for your empire that you intend to create. That's just how it works and has always worked. That's why you're the prize. Early, middle, and late, you're handling the things that matter. And that's undisputed. Hey, what's up, motherfuckers? Are you broke? Are you not broke? Are you broker than a joke? Are you doing good? Are you not doing good in life? Well, this YouTube channel's for you. God Connecticut, the host, owner, and badass mofo of GG Straight Up. Looking good in the neighborhood as always. Welcome to the YouTube channel. I'd like to give a shout out to myself for today's sponsor. Now, I want to ask everybody watching this real quick, very, very brief question. How much did you pay to watch this video? Oh, really? You don't say. Oh? That's absolutely amazing. Well, since you got in on this video at that low price, how about you do what you can to show a little love and support? Hit the subscribe button right now. Just smack it in the face like somebody told you your girlfriend's fat. Only if she isn't fat. If she is fat, just like nod and agree and then get her on some, weight loss pills and a treadmill. Get her a gym membership. Can't be walking around no fat hoes. Okay? No fat sloots. Anyways, go ahead, like, subscribe, do all that stuff, show some love. Now back to the video. Alright, now that we understand that you are actually the prize no matter how hot she is, let's talk about how much time should you be spending with a girl after you're talking to her at the convention, right? Okay. Spoiler is, don't invest too much time into one chick, right? Keep it moving, collect bitches. Now, why collect? Let me break down the funnel for you, okay? Big funnels funnel down into very few. And that's because, you're going to talk to chicks. There's going to be a certain percentage of girls who, give you their numbers because, they're intimidated or feel awkward or feel bad about saying no. One of those 3 reasons. There's a percentage of girls who will fit into that, right? Then there's a percentage of girls who will just fucking forget that the conversation even happened, more or less, until, they see your tats and then, maybe they're fuzzy memory from the convention. There's a percentage of girls who just will always almost kind of go with the flow. So maybe they give their numbers out a little more often or a little more liberally than your average girl. And then there's the girls who are interested in you. That's going to be most of them if they give you your number, right? So the other one's a small percent. So out of the girls who are interested in you, right, I would say anytime you get numbers, more than 70-80% of the time a girl will be interested in you, right? Out of that, right, there's going to be the few who are still very egotistical, interested in you to some degree, just more curious than anything. And then you're going to have the ones who really want to see what you're about. There's going to be that certain percentage. So you got the egotistical but curious, and then you got the curious and interested, and then you got the ones who are actually just straight up interested. So egotistical, curious, they think they're better than you, but you know, they'll hear you out. Now, the interested, curious, well, you know, they saw something they liked in you or on you or about you. So yeah, you got their number, they'll talk more to you and see what's up. And then there's the interested. Those are like the girls who really, really liked that you came up to them, right? They would have came up to you for sure, but they're a little scared because chicks are scared, very much so, to approach men. Those are the easy ones to follow up on and move things forward with, right? Now let's talk about, when do you hit back girls that you did not hit, I think you know what I mean, at the convention? Well, you hit them back. Let me put it this way. You got to let it enough time for their gigantic egos to deflate, right? Even right now, I'm riding off of a high a little bit, and only 100 people told me that I was awesome while I was there for the entire weekend. They got 100 on the first day. That does something to a girl's brain because they don't have the same mind or brain as men. It puts them into this weird kind of archaic princess mode where they really do think that they're the best shit on earth. They think they're better than their friends. They think they're better than you. They think they're better than presidents, generals, armies. They really do believe that they are the most valuable thing in their city at that point in time. They've heard how fucking great they are for 3 fucking days nonstop. Whether they post something, whether they show up in something, whether they're signing something, even just a normal cosplayer with no booth or no merchandise, you know, they're gonna stop for pictures and shit. She's fucking mentally destroyed. She's rotten. Like an egg that's been left out in the sun for a month in the desert. Rotten! Her brain's fucking cooked, brother. What you have to do is you gotta give her a few days, okay? Because coming off of the con and during the con, especially towards the end of the con, they're like little mini Floyd Mayweathers, right? And it's because of the simps giving them compliments is really what's happening, right? Like I said, I got 100 compliments the entire con. They got it in one fucking day. That does something to a person. And it definitely does something to a female, right? Even right now, like I was saying, how I'm riding the high, I see how much of the man I really am. Can you imagine what that does to them, a girl? Yeah, right? So you got to give it a little time. If you can imagine where they are mentally after being told they're great for 3 fucking days straight by tons of people and the internet, then you understand that the day after the con isn't the best day to hit them up. They need a few days for normality of life to creep back in and smack them in the face the way you might want to do if they were late with your dinner. But yeah, they really do need the normality of life to remind them who they are, right? See, cosplayers are hot, but they're also popular inside of a tiny bubble. It's not just hot all the way around and famous all the way around. The cosplaying community, as with a lot of different types of conventions, those are small communities. They aren't real celebrities like you might would think, right? Like you could take the #1 cosplayer on the planet. Think of it, whoever she is, right? And it's gonna be a she, the #1 cosplayer on the planet, right? In the world. And if she disappeared off the face of the planet, like no one would fucking care. Like it wouldn't be a thing. The world wouldn't skip a beat if she like disappeared forever. Like no one knew where she was, or even if they knew where she was and she disappeared, wouldn't care. It's very niche. But inside of that niche, she gets spoiled so much that she could swear that she was the president of a country or some shit. The day after a con, no go. Absolutely. Because at the con, these girls just shower with all the attention, the Instagrams that the simps keep giving them. Like the simps keep giving them a steady supply of injections, right? The thing you have to keep in mind is that a simp injection can last 2 to 3 weeks. You know, 2 to 3 weeks is a long time to wait, but for this purpose, you're going to have to wait 2 or 3 days for the simp injection to fade away, right? That way she starts to realize that she's just a person again. She's just a girl. That's all she is. Because she's going to need a few days. So you're going to want to hit her up in the middle of the day because she needs to be reminded about life, where she stands. Basically what I'm saying is that you need to let life creep back into her day where she's just some fucking coffee maker at Starbucks, just a normal chick who's dealing with a customer who's upset and just asked for a refund because they said they wanted whipped cream on top. and there's no fucking whipped cream on their fucking coffee, and they're pissed with her, and she's having a shit day. And at that moment, your text comes through with a good-looking guy who has his life together and was just talking to her about how awesome of a time they might have together. That's when your text wants to come through. Because they have to be reminded that they're just people after a fucking convention, because everybody just told them that they're not just people. And when life smacks them in the face, like, bitch, I said no motherfucking whipped cream, or I said whipped cream, and I don't see it. Get me your fucking manager, you dumbass. She's like, oh shit, like she's about to cry and shit. Like they crumble real fast. The moment life smacks them, it's like, hey, look, I don't give a fuck who you think you are. I said whipped cream and I don't see it. You're fucking up my coffee. The moment that happens, they realize, okay, oh shit, goddamn. So yeah, I am just a person. And then you show up and you're like, hey, what's good? Remember we spoke? Yeah, what's going on? So you gotta let life come back, because life in general isn't super easy. Even for good-looking girls, there's a lot of hiccups come to them because they don't know how to navigate life and lock down a man. So they do play on difficulties that aren't necessary, and they have things that happen to them that aren't necessary because they don't know how to please a man truly. So even a girl who looks good at a convention, you'll find that after a few days, life has crept back in and started to run her around again. So yeah, give her a couple days to recalibrate into a normal-ish person before you hit her up. Because you don't want to show up while she's still getting super showered with a bunch of compliments. And she's like, oh yeah, I'm the shit, what do you want? Right? Let her get her ass back to her minimum wage Starbucks. And then be like, yo, what's good? Send her a picture. Be like, hey, I remember talking to you. Were you the girl in this cosplay? Hey, I remember talking to you, but I didn't save your name. Who were you? What cosplay were you? Something like that, right? So yeah, I would definitely advise hitting back with a picture so that you can be like, hey, this is me from the convention. What's good, you know? If you remember who she is. And if you don't remember the number you're texting, because I got so many numbers, I don't have names for all of them, because getting my naming into number system took a second to get rolling, right? In that case, you would probably hit back with a picture and then just ask them who they were at the convention. Just be like, hey, this was me for the convention. I got your number, you know, but I didn't save your name. Who were you there? Just be fucking honest. No big deal, you know? Very simple. And then proceed as normal with them. And red pill finesse kind of way, right? From this point on, in fact, until your goals are met. So what that means is, right, is that from this point on, when you hit her back, the red pill finesse is remembering that you are indeed the prize, because she's the one getting the amazing deal by giving you the vajayjay. Because if you're not just only running game on her just to hit it and quit it, right? Don't be that guy. But if you're actually running game on her so that you can get her as part of your stable, keep her around, live up to the hype, do the things that you said you were going to do, then she's probably with no better man that she has access to. You're the best option, hands down. So that's the red pill mentality. Because you hit her up, you're the real G, you're the prize. And she was smart for hopping on board the cruise ship, you know? Because you're the motherfucking captain. And if you keep that mentality, then fucking congratulations, because you just added another girl to your stable. Good shit, right? Friendly reminder, or maybe not so friendly, depending if you make me upset. Fucking stay in your league. That goes for guys and girls. But because this is a red pill channel that mostly focuses on helping guys with their game and knowing how to talk to chicks, stay in your league. But you learned a lot this video, right? If you didn't know what TsumiCon was, and a lot of you probably won't, most of you probably won't, now you know, but you also picked up some valuable information on what you can do at any convention in the world, right? That's how I got more than 20 numbers. That's how you saw me, if you were at the convention, spending time or having these girls show up and make special trips to come hang out with me. Like, this is all valid and validated. It's like right there. Eyewitness reports. I mean, rolling with bad bitches. That's because they were talking to the baddest man there, right? But you don't have to be the best looking guy there, or have the most money, or have the coolest cars, or have anything like that, right? What you do have to do is be a man who's not simping, who can lead and looks reasonably good. You don't need 20 numbers. I'm in a unique situation where, yeah, like I said, I have a content house. So yeah, like doing business with them, not just fucking them, right? but I can elevate both of our standings in life, both of our career paths, all of our career paths, I should say, because it's not just 2 of them, right? I can do all this stuff. So it's not just like orgasms, but it's also like networks and, working together and building on the empire that I have and whatever they're in the process of trying to create as well. So yeah, having a lot of numbers makes sense for me. But for you, yeah, you don't need 20. But if you leave a convention with less than 3 numbers, then what are you doing? What, you're going to get 1 number and be like, well, I sure hope that when I call her, she calls me back. Like, if you get 1 number at a convention from one girl that you think's attractive and she doesn't call you back, well, you fucking wasted 3 days. 3 days of no game, okay? So the next time you're out, make sure A, you're talking to girls that aren't fat, and B, you're not trying to punch above your league, because that's not how that works. If you think that you shouldn't be talking to chicks because you're not valuable enough, you're probably 9 times out of 10 right. Because there are girls who are at your low value, but they're fat, they're rude, they're not nice. Or I should say they're fat or they're rude or they're not nice. Any of those would take the value of a girl down to pretty close to 1 or 0. And that's not a girl that you want to entertain anyways, no matter what your current value is. So anyway, now that we talked about it, you understand how I ran game at TsumiCon, how I red-pilled some of these nerds, and how, well, there's some girls out there who might get their lives enriched if they're not a bitch. I mean, unless they're my bitch. That's totally different. Anyways, game goes! Watson! What are the double biceps, baby? What are we doing? Oh my fucking goodness. Why do I look like a motherfucking ninja who was drawn with a stone chisel? I'm gonna see you in the next video. Got this one out right after TsumiCon, the fastest video turnaround ever. Been in game, never lame, and only doing the good things the same. I'm gonna see you, God Connecticut, back again with a TsumiCon video. I'll keep you posted. I'm getting invited to all sorts of parties for another convention coming up, but we'll talk about that when we talk about that, if we talk about that. Remember, keep your game up, get some lovely hotties in your life, and don't punch above your own league, because that's just dirtying the waters for everyone. See you in the next video. Get those bad girls. Woo!
But the people are retarded.